I'm going to be having a pretty busy evening ahead of me. I have to study and do some homework, and it's going to be a lot, and I'm probably going to be doing it until I go to sleep. But I thought I'd procrastinate for just a minute and make a quick little video for you guys, and I might do this for my other top 10 lists, I don't know, but this is easier and this will be more convenient, and it is the top 10 Beatles solo songs. So it's the former members of the Beatles and what they did when they were solo. My top 10. And for the record, first of all, and I say this for all my lists, but especially for this one, this list is shit. It is not definitive at all. I haven't even listened to, more than 15 of their songs solo so far. And I'm really, really slow to getting around to it. So, and if this format works, then I might keep it like this for my other list. It'll be longer than a typical, top 10 or top 20 or top 50 list, whatever I make. But I like it because I can add my own little commentary if I want to. Okay. Number 10, and I just jotted this down again. I jotted it down in class, not really thinking much about it, but so it's probably really, really bad. I'm gonna make a top 20 probably in a few weeks, maybe a few months, but it'll be better. And I'm just gonna add a few seconds of commentary and maybe a minute max for each song. But number 10, I actually had a really hard time deciding. It was between Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey by Paul McCartney, Jealous Guy by John Lennon, and All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. Now, let me say this, okay? Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey, I've listened to that song more than every song on this list except for 2. I think it would be my third most listened to. And it's a really fun song. I really get into it. It's just a blast. It's not technically that, technically it's really, really good, but it doesn't reach the heights of some of the better songs on this list. But it's just really damn fun. Jealous Guy is a better song, and it's Lennon, and I like the vulnerability he shows in it, and it's just a great song. But I think I'm going to give number 10 to All Things Must Pass. And to be honest with you, I don't feel confident about that, mainly because I haven't listened to that song very much. I've only listened to it a few times, but I feel like the more I listen to it, the higher it might move on the list. It won't reach, top 2 or 3, but it might get higher on this list as I listen to it. But great song. It might have my favorite vocals by George Harrison, and it's the titular song from his album that a lot of people say is his greatest album, and possibly the greatest album of all the Beatles after the breakup. And I haven't listened to it yet. I'll have to check it out. But I'm really, really slow to getting around to this stuff, even if I want to listen to it. So, okay, All Things Must Pass is number 10. Number 9, Mother by John Lennon. What I like about this song is, and what I like about a lot of Lennon's solo songs, not all of them, but they're very personal, they're very political, and a lot of people think about it as being preachy, and yeah, I can't really disagree there, but at least, he goes from talking about girls with the Beatles, and of course, with the Beatles, he still showed some personal songs, but it seems like here he gets really, really personal, and Mother's probably the best example of that I can think of, and he reflects on his relationship with his mother and his father and how it fell apart, how they both ended up leaving him and his inner feelings about that. The ending where he, Mama come home, Daddy don't go, that's a great, great ending to the song. Great performance by Lennon and very touching. And that's why it's number 9 on my list. Number 8 is Live and Let Die by Wings, or Paul McCartney, Won him an Oscar, the theme song to Live and Let Die, the 007 film that I have not seen yet, believe it or not. Ooh, I know I've only seen actually one 007 film so far, but great song, great music. And the thing about Paul McCartney that I love so much is he can write catchy songs in his freaking sleep. It's amazing. And this, I don't know, what instrument is that? Is it a keyboard? Bop, 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 bop. I don't know if that's a keyboard. I know there's string instruments involved. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's really, really, really catchy. Great, great song, and that's why it's number 8. Number 7, What Is Life by George Harrison. Now, this song, again, sort of like, sort of like Live and Let Die, and it's not one of the deeper songs on the list, but it's just a fun song to listen to, a lot like Live and Let Die, where I can just turn it on and blast it, and have a great time listening to it. Got a great, great riff. And it's actually, let me think, it's actually the 3rd song on this list that I heard and said, wow, that's really good. And I actually heard it and liked it before I got into the Beatles a lot. So that's something. Okay, number 6, Give Peace a Chance by John Lennon. And I believe this was released before the Beatles broke up, I think. And one of the great all-time protest songs, very universal message, very powerful, very influential. Kind of speaks for itself, like a few of these other songs. Okay, number 5, Instant Karma, We All Shine On. I'll tell you what, this is actually a song I have not got to dissecting yet. Like, you know, Give Peace a Chance, I have. A few of the other songs on here, like Mother, I have. I've been able to really think about it. Instant Karma, I'm not entirely sure what it means. Of course, he starts throwing accusations at Lennon does. He starts throwing these accusations at someone, and then he just breaks into how we all shine on, we're all important, we're all great. And it's not really personal. I'm not sure if it's political or not, but it's a sort of a peaceful, you know, everyone rules kind of message. And it's just a great song to listen to. It's a blast to listen to. And it's one of my favorite solo Lennon songs, obviously. And yeah, it's a great song. And yeah, I'm not getting too in depth with my analysis here for a couple reasons. First of all, because I sort of turned this on, I don't want to talk very long about them. Number 2, because a lot of these songs, as much as I like them, I haven't sat down and broken them apart. You know, this is not my analysis. Like, if I analyze Instant Karma, I'm going to be thinking really hard about the individual lyrics, and I'm going to be able to tell you a lot more about the song in general. But right now, I'm just turning on a camera. I haven't really thought too much about these songs. I mainly just listen to them in my car, and I, you know, get into them. So, okay, number 4, My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. This is my favorite George Harrison solo song, and it's interesting because it's the only religious type song on here, and yet George Harrison was actually Hindu, and it's My Sweet Lord, which is kind of funny. I don't know if, and again, I haven't really analyzed these songs. I'm not sure if it means Lord like the Christian God or the Judaism God or the Islamic God. I mean, the God. I don't know if it means that God or if he's talking about some other kind of spirit. But great song. I love the, you know, hallelujah of the chorus behind him. Great song. That's why it's number 4. Okay, number 3. This was scandalous for me because this is a song. This is far and away, the song I've listened to the most out of all the solo Beatles songs. Solo post-Beatles songs. I came really close to giving it number 2, but I just couldn't. It's Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and Wings. Oh my God, this is a fun song, and it's got this thing that a lot of my favorite songs do, where it has this progression where it changes musically throughout the song. And oh man, it's about 5 minutes long. It feels like it's 2 minutes long. I can listen to it anytime. I can listen to it right now. I can listen to it whenever. Love the song. And it might be my second favorite song. The thing about it is Band on the Run and my number 2 song were so close. And then I said number 2 is technically the better song, so that's why I put it at number 2. And I might like number 2 more. I'm not positive, but it's really, really close. But I do feel like I'm making the right decision putting Band on the Run at number 3 because I could not change these top 2 spots. And the top 2 spots should be really obvious. Number 2, Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney. This is one of the all-time great love songs, in my opinion. It has my favorite vocal performance by Paul McCartney in any of his songs. Very, very powerful song. This was another solo Beatles song I heard before I listened to the Beatles, and said, this is a really good song. It's played on the radio a lot. You know, one of the more popular songs from the solo Beatle. Probably second to my number 1 song on the list. And it's just a terrific, terrific song. And that's why it's number 2 on that list. Number 1, I'm sorry. I gotta apologize for this because it's predictable as hell. You're all rolling your eyes. You're all going, of course. Oh yeah, what a creative list, I know, but it's Imagine. It's gotta be Imagine. And to me, there's no question. There's no question. And yeah, I know everyone says Imagine's the best. Everyone thinks Imagine is such a masterpiece. Because it is. I'm sorry. I think it is. As much as I'm getting into music, I don't have a favorite song. I have, which is weird in my opinion, but I can't figure out what it is. There are 5 or 6 songs that are serious contenders to be my favorite song. And on any given day, I listen to that and say, that might be my favorite song. Imagine is one of them. Several times I've called Imagine my favorite song. Of course, then I'll listen to another song and say, I'm not so sure. But Imagine is one of about 4 to 6 songs that could seriously be my favorite song. It's played to death on the radio, I know, it was, I don't know if it's played anymore, but people have heard it hundreds of times. A lot of people are sick of it. I'm sorry, I'm never going to get sick of this song because it's just so damn good. And, you know, of course, it's overly idealistic if you think about what he's saying, but it's a true message. It's a universal message. It's a good message. It's a very catchy song. It's a very good song. One of my all-time favorites, like I said, if not my all-time favorite. And it's like, one thing that Lennon could always do to me is have powerful songs without sounding powerful. And what I mean by that is he uses the music, the lyrics, and his vocals. And at first, they may not seem to be impactful or powerful in a way like Freddie Mercury's voice has power behind it. But if you look at the whole Lennon package, there's always power there. There's a song called Happy Christmas, the War is Over that I didn't put on this list. Exactly the same way to me. And only Lennon, in my opinion, Lennon and Bob Dylan, are the only two artists, in my opinion, who could have these elements to their music that at first don't seem to be very powerful, but when you put it all together, there's power there, and it's really, really impactful. And Imagine is the perfect example of that for John Lennon. Quite possibly my favorite song of all time, and I can't say it is because there are, again, about 4, maybe 5 more songs that give it a run for its money, but it's up there in that conversation. Serious contender. Predictable, but sorry, and I honestly don't think it's very close. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Now I gotta get to my homework.